So a number of things are going through my head to kind of validate what you're talking about here. McKinsey came out with a big study and they determined that those kinds of voice of the customer conversations that you're talking about, the data is super important. We learn so much. We have so much more data than we have. That's another problem. But the talking directly to customers, and they said that's the quickest path to ideas and innovations in our company. But they also said that less than 15% of companies actually execute well on a voice of the customer program. And most of the executives, the C-suite executives that I share that with say, Steve, I think that's probably too high.
Wow. I'm so glad it's not my case, but anyway.
But that's why I think it's so important, right, that we talk about this. And what I would do in your mind, I want to reframe this conversation towards why it's important, because ultimately we're judged on growth. Ultimately, part of our board, and nobody's probably even asking the question, right? So how do we equate a customer centricity program, operationalize it? How can you help connect the dots for us to growth in the business that a board understands?
Right. So it's not one thing or another, it's both. Because think if the customer is not happy and do not stick around with you, you're not going to grow. So that's the thing. You need to keep bringing the voice of the customer and potentially drive the outcomes with the best as possible to create the best customers experiences and address the things that the customers are looking for. Circle back with them to ensure that this is the case, right? Because sometimes you think it's, yeah, I have address, check the box, and you do not come back to the customer. So you need to continue to do this at the same time that you're driving value. So as I said, it's a virtual circle. You need to drive the results. You need your customers to stick around because the customer centricity creates retention, right? If you do not care about the customer and you're not paying attention, the price is super high because you're going to have a churn problem. And then you're going to need to drive, additional programs to bring additional customers that are not going to stick around if you don't solve for these problems. And it's also very concerning, right? So it's a way that you're going to be balancing at the same time that you're driving growth. The growth is just going to happen if you have the customers that are happy working with you. You're helping them to succeed and to be better on what they do day by day and helping them serving their customers better, right? They're making them being successful because they work with you. So that's the beauty. And then it just like happened because we keep bringing those customer cases. And by the way, it's one of the things that I think it's the most powerful as opposed to talking about a product or a solution or a service that you bring other happy customers to talk about it, right? So by working with you, you help them solve for something or latency or issue or scale better or save money, whatever it is that you're providing to your customer, it's much better for them to connect. And they see multiple cases from multiple verticals and sizes on how they can relate with those customers. And then you're just like, you are there as a consultant to support them to be successful and not just like concerned about a short-term sell, closing a business right now. You're thinking about a long-term growth with them. It's a long-term partnership. That are going to be transactional customers. Everybody have them, right? Most of the times you have people that come and go, but we want all of them to have great experiences with us, right? Always elevating the bar.